everyone, and welcome back to my channel. This is another exciting video. I am so here for the glow up content. If you have not watched my previous videos in regards to internally glowing up, I'm pretty sure my hair video will be up by then, or some other video, whatever. Regardless, we are spring/summer glowing up, and today I want to talk about some of the spring skincare and my current favorite makeup routine for spring that allows me to look really glowing with really only focusing on a few things. I do actually just want to say one thing about glowing skin or looking glowing or glowing up. It always first starts in your mind. You have to decide that you are a girl who is glowed up, a girl who is glowing up, a girl who has the potential to glow up. Because from my experience, when I don't look at myself as somebody who is glowed up, or is on a journey, or enjoys it, or is just somebody who takes care of themselves, no matter what skincare routine I do, no matter how many makeup products that I get that I think are glowing, if I don't look at myself as glowing, beautiful, unique, amazing, whatever, if I don't have a good self-concept, it will be way more difficult for me to move through life thinking that I'm glowed up no matter what I am putting on my face. Now, this does not mean that any of the makeup or the skincare that I do is basically all technically like a placebo effect, because basically what I said is you decide that you're glowing regardless of like things that you use in that. But doing a ritual, a routine, and doing something for my skin obviously is gonna help me believe that I am more glowed up. You can move through life just having that belief and not doing a single thing. You can do that, that's fine. I know that I could do that. And there's many days where I do. There's many seasons of my life where I'm like, I don't even need anything and I'm still feeling like I'm glowed up. But I do love a good little makeup routine that is easy, that is, you know, beautiful, that brings a little bit of vibrance to my face. I love doing the ritual of putting on moisturizers, understanding and knowing that these ingredients are doing good for my skin, or the red light that I'm using is helping with my skin pigmentation if I have breakouts, just supporting and nourishing my body. That is what glowing up to me really is. It's all about nourishment. So I just wanted to make that like mindset disclaimer before we get into everything. So we have a few things that we're going to go through in this video, like I kind of already told you, but I want to talk about like what specifically I am focusing on with my skin right now in my life, what I do my pre-makeup routine, because I do skincare usually like before I put on the makeup, and then obviously I'm going to show you like my makeup routine, and then what I do after, like when I take off makeup, or this also could just be if I wasn't wearing any makeup at all, because it is different than what I put on before I do my makeup. It's, in my opinion, very important what you put on your skin before you do your makeup versus if you're not. So something that I love to think about when it comes to life is that we have different seasons of life. And although I look at myself as somebody who has very, very good skin, and I look at myself as not having issues with my skin, there are some seasons where for some reason, like my skin is breaking out a little bit more than usual. I tend to usually have like maybe like one of those periods in a year, which used to be completely different than how my skin used to always be. And right now in the season, that is what's happening. And usually there's two reasons why for me personally that this happens. Well, actually, I guess there's three. The first one is always usually an internal system thing, in which I used to really struggle with that because my digestion wasn't good, and like I struggled with ulcerative colitis. I wasn't really healthy. I wasn't moving my body a lot, things like that, and my hormones are really unbalanced. But now that I, you know, cycle sync and I take more care of myself, I'm in a better place. My skin absolutely reflects that. Usually when the weather changes, my skin kind of goes through a transition period, and I tend to usually, it's either before it gets really cold or after it's been cold for so long coming into spring, my skin will kind of like break out. Sometimes I think it's genuinely like my body awakening again, because I was sometimes like, I usually am not like in the best place in the wintertime. Like I try my best, but you know, whatever. Anyways, and like I'm not moving as much, that. So I feel like my skin has naturally and usually naturally goes through a little bit of a purging process changing seasons, which right now we're in April, so my skin has kind of been doing that. But also I decided to use a retinol like not too long ago, and that was the first time I was actually being very consistent with it, and it definitely worked, but it got to a point where it was turning over my skin cells a lot and it made me break out a lot, which is fine. But my skin is very sensitive to breakouts. And what I mean by that is the moment I get like any sort of blemish, regardless if I pop it or not, if it's under the skin, if it goes away, whatever, I will get scarring. But to help my skin right now in my life, what I've been using is Current Body's LED red light and blue light mask. And I'm sure some of you guys have heard about red light therapy and how red light can go deep and penetrate underneath your skin to really help with any scarring or pigmentation or even blemishes. Now they have other benefits, of course. There's a lot of people who use red light therapy for like anti-aging benefits. And now I actually am not necessarily using it for that in terms of like wrinkles and stuff, although you can. But because I know that red light is helpful for scarring, so that's why I'm using it. So Current Body Skin is actually the sponsor of today's video, which if you guys have been watching my videos and been following me on Instagram, I've been using this mask like mad. And the reason why I'm using this mask specifically right now is because they also have blue light therapy within this mask. And blue light therapy is very helpful for blemishes and acne. It helps to kill the bacteria on your face that obviously would be causing the acne. So I've been really enjoying this brand and I am very happy to be working with them. Now with devices, I think it's really important to do your research and actually figure out what will work. And I did a lot of research on these masks, same with my best friend because she's like dying to get one of these as well. And I can truly say Current Body is one of the best on the market. So when it comes to this red and blue light acne mask, it is really important that you actually have it around your face, which this is why I like this mask, is because literally you can tie it up and it'll go all the way around so your entire face is actually getting the light. Now of course this looks a little bit funny for me to be on camera right now doing this, but it is the most comfortable mask. Like you don't have to do anything, you can just sit back and lay down. This is a 10-minute timer, and as you can see the LED lights here. Now they also have protective goggles because you're not supposed to just like look directly in a light like that, so it protects your eyes, which is really good. So 3 to 5 times a week I will be using this. I've been using this for a solid 2.5 months, and it's really helped the fading of my skin, especially because I've been breaking out a lot and I still have like a little bit of scarring. So I just think it's speeding up the process. This mask has been shown to prove the improvement of blemishes and scarring within just 2 weeks. But one thing I will say is you have to be consistent. You can use it from like 3 to 5 days a week, depending on obviously what it is that you are wanting to see, that like what changes and how quickly. So if you're wanting this acne LED red and blue light mask, they did give me a discount code for you guys, which is Alicia G, and that will give you 10% off this mask. This is something that I definitely recommend, and this is just something that's been helping me on the seasonal change of life. So thank you Current Body for sponsoring today's video, and let's go on to what I do on my skin before I do my makeup look. Okay, I just quickly cleansed my face and I did my hair actually quickly before I even did this. So when I'm doing any form of skincare, I really make sure that my skin is like still like a little damp. Like I didn't just dry out my skin just now and instantly put something on my face. I just feel like my skincare really sinks more into my skin when my skin's a little bit like plump and warm. I typically usually do my skincare right when I get out of the shower. I usually start layering on whatever I need, but for me, that is key to making my skin look like it's glowing, is making sure that my products are actually like sinking into my skin. And don't worry, I'm gonna tell you the products that I'm using, but I'm genuinely like living by what I just said. I'm making sure that I really get my skincare in, as my skin is just like a little bit warm and plump and not like super dried up. So I don't know how this is coming off of camera, but I mean, my skin is definitely looking Like there's a little bit of glow to it, which is always something that I want underneath my makeup. Now, what I just did was I went in with a soy cleanser. This is from Fresh Beauty. I love this soy cleanser because it's very gentle. Now, I guess I should say my skin is usually like oily to normal, but it depends on the season. Like right now, my skin, I would honestly say, is pretty dry. It's not really that oily. So because of that, I want to make sure that I'm using a cleanser that is not stripping any oils, especially when my skin is like really not that oily right now. So I like using Fresh Beauty's gentle soy cleanser. I used to use CeraVe cleanser when I didn't have a lot of money to be spending. Right when I am done cleansing my skin, that's where I want to really rehydrate my skin. Now, I went in with Charlotte Tilbury's Magic Serum, and I guess I'll just disclaim this here. Obviously, like I am not like a professional when it comes to makeup or a professional when it comes to skincare. I'm just like, this is just what I do, okay? I have tried many things. This is just what I do. It is important that you do not pile on too many serums and too many things on your face when you, right before you're doing your makeup, if you're gonna do foundation, in my personal opinion, because it just, the makeup does not sit. And I like to do my makeup basically right around the time where I just did my skincare. I like to have everything feel like it's just really nourished, and I feel like sometimes my skin will get dry. Anyways, with that said, I'm using this serum because this has a little bit of vitamin C, which a lot of people will say to use vitamin C at night. It's not even really that sunny. I'm going to be using SPF, and I don't use it every single day. But I find having a little bit of vitamin C underneath my makeup really continues to allow my skin to look very glowing. Like vitamin C is very brightening. This also has hyaluronic acid in it, I believe, and niacinamide. But I will say that there has been some hyaluronic acids that when I put on my face, for some reason, it will make my foundation pill. So I guess just be careful with that. And that's why, like, I have different serums for different things, but I know that this is not gonna make my skin like pill. When I mean pill, I just mean foundation like clumpy. So after my serum, that's when I just put on a moisturizer and an SPF. And I just put the SPF on my skin like off camera because, again, I wanted to make sure that I wasn't talking too far in between. So right now I'm using Vichy Mineral 89 moisturizer. I love this hyaluronic acid that they have in the same like branding as well. Now for me, I have to have a certain consistency when it comes to a moisturizer. If the moisturizer is too thick, then it is not gonna make my skin glow. It's gonna look kind of dull almost. But obviously if it's too like gel-like, sometimes I feel like my skin doesn't hold on to it, and then it just looks literally like it's dripping and my skin doesn't really, you know, take it in. So I find I really have to be picky with the type of moisturizers that I use depending on the season. This all comes back to like the season of life. And then right now I'm using Paula's Choice SPF 50. It's not really sunny out, but I do like using sunscreen because it tends to give, again, my skin like a natural glow underneath my foundation. And obviously it's protecting my skin. And this does not make your skin look white or any of that stuff. Okay, so let's go do the makeup look. Now, sometimes if my skin still feels a little bit dry, just depending on how long that I've waited, I just use some rose water. This is like so not needed, but I have it. So sometimes I just like to like spray down my face because I just want to feel like I'm not dry. So right now, because I have a little bit of scarring, I am going in with my NARS. This is Tiramisu. This is like a little concealer thing, which I don't typically use. I am a very minimal girl when it comes to makeup. I just like can't be bothered because I also think in my head, I'm always like, it doesn't really matter, like, you know, but sometimes I do this, and like right now I will, and this does look a little bit darker. I don't even know how this is coming out. You probably won't be able to see it. It is a little bit darker than my skin, but I just like to go in and kind of like conceal a little few spots just because my skin also is very, very, very pale right now, and I don't want to put too much foundation on top of my skin and like pile it up, even though the foundation I'm gonna be talking about is actually like makes your skin really glowing. The more you put on, I just feel like the more that your skin looks kind of dry. And listen, if you're not like a glowy girl and you like a matte look, that's fine. Like literally, this is just what I do. Okay, so my favorite foundation I've been using for 2 years is Ilia foundation, okay? I love them. This is a true skin serum foundation. So this has niacinamide in it, and it's aloe infused allantoin. I don't know what that ingredient is, All I know is it's very, very, when I mean glowy, I just mean it's lightweight. So obviously it's gonna make your skin glow, but I do think something about the aloe vera, or yeah, aloe vera and niacinamide probably is the thing that does it. Now I'm somebody who is looking for not that much coverage, I guess. But this just brings it all together. It just, to me, it really, like, I don't feel like I'm wearing makeup, and I really like that. When I feel like I'm not wearing makeup, I feel like my skin is glowing. Like when I'm walking outside, I like can feel like my skin is glowing without having to look, because I don't feel like I'm wearing anything. So that's just kind of like how it works for me. By the way, I wet my beauty blender with like really warm water. I will not put foundation on without doing that. I can't believe I used to do that when I was younger. Like, I do not understand. Like, no wonder I never liked my makeup. Anyways, no shade to people who don't do that. I'm just somebody who is, I don't know, cares a lot about how things feel, because depending on how it feels, I will then start like acting out of that. Like, I don't know, if I feel like I don't look good, then I'm gonna be acting like I don't look good. You know, my energy is not gonna be like glowing. So I do take my time with certain things and kind of tailor my routine exactly the way that I need it to be, because in order for me to feel glowing. And I think that like when I was younger, I used to try and do makeup routines like everyone else, and it just like, it felt so, I don't know, not enjoyable, but like didn't feel good. And honestly, it's just because it wasn't curated to me. So yeah, I'm just like, I don't know, dragging it down a little bit. I don't really care too much, honestly. This foundation almost matches my skin. Like it matches my skin, but like, this is my like summer color as well. I don't even change this color. Okay, the next thing that I do is I give my eyebrows the same vibe, okay? When I mean by same vibe, I mean, when you think about glowing, you think about hydrated, shiny, you know, like very just, I don't know, sometimes I think about like wet, not really wet, but I don't know, just glowing. And so for my eyebrows, I use my Eco Styler gel, and I'm sure some of you guys know because you've probably been watching some of my Get Ready With Me's. I use Eco Styler gel on my hair and I just put it on my eyebrows. And I have done that for many years. Like, I don't even know when I started doing this, like literally probably my earliest 20s. Probably my earliest 20s. And for anyone who is new here, I'm 28. I'm turning 29 this year in November. So it's been a long time. And I've never had any problem with doing this, okay? And it saves a lot of money. Now, I did do a clean girl beauty routine where I showed you guys like what I do for my eyebrows. So I'll link it down below if you're interested. I pluck my own eyebrows. I have done that for, again, nearly like way too long sometimes. I think about it and I'm like, wow, okay, I'm getting really old, but which is fine. I actually like that I'm like in this, I'm almost like 30. Anyways, wow. I have been doing my eyebrows forever. And all I usually do is just gel out my eyebrows because my eyebrows are very curly. And I just love the look of a little bit of gel. But this gel does not make it like too shiny, too wet. And it also does not flake. So I love it. It's like multi-use. Sometimes what I do is I will use Anastasia Dip Brow, which, I don't know, it looks exactly like this. And then you just like dip it, put it on your eyebrows. I tend to do that if I'm doing winged eyeliner, which is the only other step that I will do outside of like my normal makeup routine, is just add a winged eyeliner, which I'm not gonna do probably today. And I really only do that because winged eyeliner to me, it just kind of looks like it's translated my look from just like a day natural look to like maybe like going out for like dinner or something, which is so funny because it's literally just a wing. You see what happens in your minds when you think and like the stories you tell yourself? Like it feels to me like it's such a big difference, but genuinely it's just a wing. It's so funny, but whatever. With that, because it's black eyeliner, I sometimes like to fill in my eyebrows just a tad bit just to make them like really match, but I go easy with it, okay? I have spent many years not only under plucking my damn eyebrows and trying to make it the shape, but I did way too much. I would like do so much like dark, you know, strokes here. I used to use like thick pencils. We know. If you know, then you know. You're a girl who probably gets it. Okay. The main character of my makeup routine is blush, okay? I used to think it was highlighter, and highlighter definitely a solid second. But when I started using blush, this is where it really made me look like I was like glowed up. And it's not necessarily because the blush has any like highlighter, because this actually is quite matte. It's the vibrance, okay? When you have a little bit of color in your skin, and you know, if you're a gold girly, that's fine. That's still technically adding color. But just something like a little bit of a like little color on the lips, whatever, it does make you look glowed up. Because when you think of being glowed up as well, you think of something that is just like healthy and rich and nourished. And when you think of something that's like really nourished, it's alive. You think about a plant, it's like really green. You think about ripe fruit, it is very ripe. Have you ever seen a freaking watermelon that is in season, that is just like the reddest of the freaking red slash kind of pink, whatever, or like mangoes, or like really good grapes or strawberries, and you know, the ones that just look like girl, like you got plucked way too soon. We don't want to look like that, okay? Now listen, I don't naturally look how I look, you know, when I'm wearing this. So am I gonna look at myself even without any of this on and be like, oh, you're not nourished, you're not vibrant, you're not whatever? No, I look at myself like, you are beautiful. You are beautiful even with nothing on your face. You are glowing, you are stunning. I have to say those things to myself, and I really think you guys should say those things to yourself as well, because we need to stop moving through life with conditional love. Meaning, oh, I can only look at myself like I'm nourished when I have this on. It's like, no, you can actually look at yourself like you're nourished with blush or without it, okay? But let's go into the reality of, we are wearing blush today, and yes, blush does make you look really vibrant and glowed up, and it doesn't take very long to like add or do. So only recently, I probably would say like a solid year, I've been using blush, which is like so crazy to me. It just ties in so much. So I haven't tried that many blushes, but from what I have tried, cream blushes seem to work the best for me because it's not too powdery. So again, I don't really like the powdery look, because like I want to have a little bit of highlight around my face, obviously. But also, like, I thought I was gonna be a drunk elephant drops. Like, what are these? Like the rosy drops, whatever. I really loved the concept. I even tried other liquid blushes, and I guess it depends, but I just found I could not get it to stay the way that I needed to stay on my damn face. It just like won't go. It's like too oily almost. So anyways, I have been using Rare Beauty blush. I recently, for the past year, was using Winxie Luxe blush in Cheeky Rose. I love this blush. It's amazing and it's very cheap. I just wanted to move from a corally-ish type of blush to more of a pink tone, because I just think that it brings a little bit more vibrance into my face. And this season of life that I'm in, like, I just like the look of pink instead of like a more orange tone. Like the orange tone it worked, but like we're done. Anyways, so right now I'm using Nearly Rose, and I'm gonna go on my left side, so I know you're not gonna see it until I go on this side, but whatever. Now I'm gonna try and find the video where there's this girl who teaches you how to put on blush like 10 different ways. And I just think that you have to figure out like what looks good on your face shape. I have a different face shape than you. So for me to tell you to put it on almost as if you would for like an eye mask might not even work. And like, I'm still trying to figure out what looks the best for my skin. Sometimes I put too much, sometimes I put too little, sometimes like I put it directly across, that's like, and it looks good, and then sometimes it doesn't. Like, honestly, it just depends. I think at the end of the day, you just have to decide sometimes, like when you're kind of like putting on a lot of makeup where you're not wondering, like you just have to decide that you look good. Okay, like I look good, done, thank you. And she was even saying in one of those videos, when you're putting on blush, it also gives you a sun-kissed look. And a sun-kissed look is a glowy look, like obviously. That's the reason why I kind of like blush, because it actually just gives me this as if like I just laid out into the sun, and like now my cheeks are, it's not even like they're rosy because like I have like blood flowing in my body. I mean that too, but also that like the sun just kissed my freaking cheeks. And then I put like a little bit like on my nose area. Again, I'm not perfect with this. Okay, so after my blush, sometimes I do steps differently, but what I usually like to do is like once I have touched my face once, let's say with my foundation, this is so kind of irrelevant, whatever. When I do my foundation, I like to then like move to my eyebrows or like my mascara, and then like I'll come back and I'll do that, and then I'll go back and I'll do like my mascara, and then I'll come back and I'll do like my highlighter. For no particular reason other than probably something to do with my brain. I am gonna try out this Pillow Talk Push-Up Lash mascara that Charlotte Tilbury sent me. But let me be real with y'all. I always have been using drugstore mascara for like years and years and years. And I just finished using the telescopic L'Oreal mascara. Whoop. And it's fire. But before that, I was using Lash Sensational. And I think mascara is just such a beautiful thing to wake you up. And I think that's another thing when it comes to looking glowed up and like looking alive, I guess, is just putting on a little bit of mascara where it just brings and opens up your eyes a little bit. I have been very particular with the type of mascara that I use in terms of its brush. I've never really had an issue with like formulas. Like I've tried a lot of mascaras, and I know some people will be like, oh, well, like this sheds or this falls off. I don't have that issue. What I have is like, it's the wand. Like, are you gonna make my freaking eyelashes clumpy? And I know that the formula sometimes will do that, but what I usually do, I've been doing this as well for freaking since I've been in high school, is I take my little tweezers and any eyelashes, and I know I can't show, like I really cannot be able to show you, but I kind of, I don't like this word clump because I do not clump my eyelashes. I don't do that. Like, you know those spider lashes? I'm sorry for anyone who loves a good spider look, but it's not for me. I just tweeze, not tweeze. I do not pluck and tweeze my freaking eyelashes, but I do clump a few of them together. And bringing it back to the feeling state of something, like right now, if I were to leave my eyelashes like this, which I'm not even done them, I would feel not glowed up right now because I know that my eyelashes are not the way that I want. Like I can feel them. Like I don't even have to look. So that's why I do some of the steps that I do, because I'm like, no, I need it to be feeling how I want it to feel. Okay, I don't know if you're really able to see on camera, but I don't mind this mascara. This mascara is actually really good. Okay, next, highlighter. This was my ride or die before I ever really thought blush was gonna be a thing for me. I've had this for so many years. It's the Fenty Killa. What? I don't even know if they have, I'm assuming they still have this. This has gotta be a staple. So this is like pink tones. I like pink tones on my face. I also do really well with like a gold tone, but I like, there's something about having like color and vibrance in my face. Sorry, my camera was dying. Whoop. So I'm going in with the darker highlighter on my cheek or my bone. What is it called? Cheekbone, right? Yeah, anyways. I just, you know, I'm not too perfect with this until I can see some highlighter. I'm sure you can probably see a little bit of that. And then what I do, I just take like a shadow brush and take the lighter. I just think the lighter pink looks a little bit better under the brow bone. This is key, okay? Under the brow bone is going to give you that look like the sun is coming in like that, okay? So we gotta always be under the brow bone, okay? And also what I like to do is just put it right on my Cupid's bow as well. Actually, I don't know why I just did that, because usually I put my gloss on first, whatever, it doesn't matter. Now, my favorite other thing that is important in all aspects in life is a lip gloss. Right now I'm using the Rare Beauty Nearly Rose, which matches the blush. I was using Anastasia, this is like literally empty, Anastasia Beverly Hills in Coral lip gloss. This has like, it's like a frosted look for sure. I like this, I really love this. But this is definitely like a spring look. So anyways, I'm gonna put that on. Sometimes what I'll do also is put on like this is a sugar lip scrub from Fresh Beauty, and it's like in a plum color. So it really brings vibrance to my lips a little bit more. Actually, maybe I'll just like add a little tiny bit. Although you gotta be careful because, you know, it kind of clashes a little bit depending on the blush that you're wearing, I should say. And I did find that a lot of my lip glosses were clashing with the coral looking blush. That's also another reason why I kind of wanted to switch. So anyways, doesn't really matter though. Like, it's not gonna be exactly matching, but I will say getting a gloss, I don't know why I'm still holding this one. Getting a gloss that has a little bit of color in it, again, just brightens up your face, brings some color back, and I don't know, I just think it just looks really good. And then I like to go in with an all-nighter spray. Honestly, do I really care that much if my makeup's gonna come off? No, because it feels like I'm not really wearing anything, and also, even though I know that I am, but I also just like don't really care because I know that whatever, it just doesn't really matter that much to me. But why I like to put this on again is because it feels good. Like, it makes me feel like I don't know, like it's an extra glow. Like, now my makeup looks better, I feel. And even when it dries though, I still feel like it's added another layer. Okay, so makeup look is done. I feel the best with this type of makeup look. The sun is like slowly coming out and then going back. But this is how I usually wear my makeup all the time. Right now I'm going to film a podcast episode. If you guys are new here, I do have a podcast, the Glow Up Secrets podcast. The Glow Up, listen, we have made this name years and years and years ago. I promise you, I love to talk about a good glow up. I'll have my channel linked down below, but you can listen to it on Spotify and Apple as well if you don't want to like watch, but you can watch. We talk a lot about mindset on there, although I do talk about mindset and advice always on my channels because I'm me and I'm a Scorpio and I think and I talk a lot. But I will wear this makeup look even when I'm going out. Like I said, usually the only other thing that I'll do is I'll do a tiny little winged eyeliner. And I use the liquid eyeliner from NYX. So I love this makeup look. I probably will not add another step into my makeup look for a very long time, if any. I used to wear bronzer, but I just felt like it was an extra step that I did not need, and it was annoying me to do bronzer with blush. It just didn't work. It also didn't feel good to me, which I'm, like I've been saying, am obsessed with how my skin feels. And I think just over time, you just decide what looks good on you and you tell yourself that you don't need it, or you tell yourself that you do, and then that becomes your reality. So I've just like told myself I don't need it. But for any reason, if I want to use it down the line, when I use it and it looks good, I'll just say it looks good and I need it. Like, literally just decide. So I'm gonna go record this and then I will show you guys what I do after I take off everything, because there are some products that have been helping with my skin in terms of making sure that I'm not continuously also breaking out, and I just like to do a little bit more at nighttime. Hello. Okay, so it is a lot later. I just washed my face, so obviously like none of my makeup is on right now. I'm going in with some jojoba oil and I'm putting it on like a little cotton pad, and that's what I use to wipe off like all the excess mascara that I have on my eyes. Sometimes what I'll do is double cleanse, but I don't actually have two different cleansers, so I just use the soy cleanser. But sometimes I'll just like do it twice because you usually never get all of it off of your face. Now the next thing that I'm gonna do before I explain anything else is I'm going in with some 2% BHA breakout solution. This is from Dr. Dennis Gross. This is actually very new. This is helpful for if you do have breakouts as well on your face. This has really been helping any oil production that I still might be having or turning over on my skin. So I really like this product. It doesn't dry out my skin too much, although I definitely need to follow it up with a serum. But I don't know if you can even, I really don't know if you're gonna be able to tell, but this has a little bit of makeup on it, and it's just so crazy that, like, you know, as much as sometimes I'll even double cleanse and I'll still have makeup on my skin. Now, when it comes to the jojoba oil, I don't know, I've just always thought that if we can possibly keep it as like more natural and not so many active ingredients, that's like great for the skin. I think chemical ingredients and things like that can definitely help, but I just think that using an oil, like a natural oil, like jojoba oil or almond oil to wipe off my makeup has always been just like really calming on my eyes. And obviously, I mean, I don't really know how much you're able to see in the video, but like, it looks glowing. So, you know, this is a lot of the times what my face is usually like looking like. I don't do my makeup all of the time. I usually just do skincare. And so that is a tip that, you know, using jojoba oil and maybe like doing a little bit of a wipe can easily make your skin look glowing. So after I use a BHA solution or a salicylic acid solution, which salicylic acid is really good for, again, those who break out and have a lot of like oily skin. Because this strips the skin a little bit, I love to go in with a hyaluronic acid. So right now I'm using the Clarins Paris Hydra Essential. This has HA2, which I believe is hyaluronic acid. I'm assuming that's what that means, and polyphenols. But honestly, just having some sort of hydrating serum that actually works on my skin after especially I strip it is really important to me. Now, if I wasn't using that BHA solution or just anything that was doing something for the benefit of, let's say, breakouts, then sometimes I'll skip the serum. I don't use a serum every single time, but I just try and think of what does my skin in this moment really need? Does it need a little bit more moisture? Does it need to lock something in more? Does it need something like a chemical exfoliant or, you know, my LED mask? But not every single day is the same. And I think that that's just important to train your skin, that it doesn't need to rely on products all of the time. So obviously I'm gonna let that like sit in, you know, my skin a little bit. Usually at night I'd be probably brushing my teeth right now and just like waiting a second to really let it sink in. So after I do my base serum, which is usually like a hyaluronic acid, sometimes what I'll do is I'll add another serum that again targets something that I want to be focusing on. So what I was doing when I broke out, when my skin like broke out here, was I was using retinol. So like that's when I would put the retinol on my skin, but I'm not using that right now. So what I would do on the days that I didn't put retinol on would be to use a higher percentage of vitamin C, like higher than what it would be in something like a mixed serum like this. So right now I'm using Dr. Dennis Gross 15% vitamin C serum. Love this stuff. It is so important that you get vitamin C that is formulated correctly and that is in the right bottle. It can oxidize very quickly as well, but this is something that I just think really changes the way that my skin looks. Oh my gosh, sorry. And listen, I don't have perfect skin. I don't always have perfect skin, but the way I look at it is what's perfect about skin, in my opinion, is when it's like as glowing as it possibly can. When I had really bad breakouts on my skin, maybe I'll like pop up a photo, I still made sure to do the best that I could to support my skin as I was going through that journey. And I still looked at my skin like, wow, beautiful, stunning, glowing, whatever. So maybe this is just like a reminder for anyone who might be struggling with like skin things. Just because your skin is not clear from like breakouts, it doesn't mean you have bad skin. It doesn't mean that you can't be glowing. It really is all just obviously like what you really perceive. Now, like I said, I do like to put this on at night, even though I'm literally directly in the damn sun. It's fine, whatever. But also, if I were to put my foundation on right after this, it's not the time to put foundation on after this. So I tend to leave more of my skincare to the end of the night for that reason. And then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go in with some Fresh Beauty Dream Face Cream. This is just a light moisturizer. Since I did use the Dr. Dennis Gross and I did use vitamin C, I mean, obviously this is a serum too that has ingredients in it. I just wanna go for something that's a little bit light. I really do like this face cream. I've been using it all winter and even in the fall. It's like obviously thick like a cream, but it's still light. Like there's still for sure some water content in it essentially. So it goes pretty well within my skin and it feels like the right amount of sinking into my skin, but also still moisturizing where it doesn't feel like it's like falling off, if that makes any sense. And then what I usually do is I put on this Sugar Recovery Lip Mask by Fresh Beauty as well. This is unreal, the way that this smells. I literally have to smell it every single time, and just the way that it glides on my lips. Like there are some lip masks that just sit on top of your lips, like you can definitely feel that is not getting into the skin. Like the skin's like, no, I don't want this, I don't know what this is. Or sometimes it's too oily to the point where it just like falls off almost. It's like you just feel like you just didn't even put it on. This one is like in the mix of both. Now, since I also have the blemishes, what I've also been using is this Dr. Dennis Gross BHA, basically like an acne spot treatment. Whoop. I only take a little tiny bit of that and I just place it on any under skin pimples that I feel that are still there. Now, one other thing that I want to talk about, this is like all Dr. Dennis Gross like products, but I really love all of his products. I will use chemical exfoliants, and this is basically exfoliating your skin but underneath the layers of your skin. So not like a physical one where let's say you have like beads or something, you know, getting the dirt and the grime kind of thing like that. I've used these like all throughout winter. I just think that these are really helpful. Also, again, when it comes to any sort of scarring, that is something that I use as well, but I haven't been using them lately because I've been using the LED mask. So that is really it. I like to use skincare a lot as my makeup. I probably wear makeup maybe 1 to 2 times a week, and the rest of the time I'm usually looking like this, or I'll just like brush up my eyebrows and maybe put mascara on. But usually for the most part, if I can help it, I try not to put things on my skin, only just because my skin, if I can help it, I would rather put ingredients and like moisturizing products on it versus like some color, like blush or whatever. And honestly, I'm kind of lazy, so I'd rather just have skincare on so that way I can just go to sleep. Usually when I wake up in the morning, and if it's like a gym day and I'm working out in the morning, I will not do any skincare until I am done my workout. I typically like to try and focus on doing skincare when I get out of the shower. So, you know, if I do hot yoga and it's in the middle of the day, I will not do any skincare until that. I know there's so many arguments of, oh, you should do it every morning regardless, or you should do it every single night because you go out and, you know, in the world and toxic and this, that, like the air and the environment and dirty and this, that. And I feel that sometimes, but I also just trust my intuition as well. And I know when it's time to put things on my face. And I just feel like that's always really helped my skin be and look good, is when I take a second and like not overload it with 100,000 products every single morning, regardless of what I'm doing. And I think the same thing can go with eating or moving your body. There's just certain days where it's like, okay, like my appetite is not the exact same, or my energy is not the exact same to go do this workout. Maybe I'll do something else. Maybe I'll pull it back for a second, or maybe I'll add a little bit more. And I think that's the beauty sometimes of skincare, which I love, but also just makeup and hair and just embracing who you are, which is ever changing in my personal opinion. So with that said, the sun is like going at this point. That's all I really do, at least for now. Please let me know what you want to see next. Tomorrow I'm going to film most likely my hair routine video. And I do want to talk about like some of the things that have helped me have a hair glow up, because I definitely have way healthier hair than I used to. So I'm gonna be doing that. So thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget that the Current Body LED mask, the acne mask, red and blue, if you're interested and you know, you're wanting to get one and you're shopping, I would suggest that mask, and you can use my code AliciaG for 10% off. Thanks so much, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.